Carolina-style ribs served with garlicky dill yellow beans and beautiful roasted chili turmeric potatoes. And for dessert, a nutty peanut butter fudge smothered in rich, delicate chocolate ganache. Pork ribs. They've always been one of my favorite proteins, not only to cook with, but also to eat. There's so many different styles, flavors, and ways to cook and eat them. Today, I'm going to slow cook them in my oven and finish them off underneath the broiler. So let's turn the oven on to 225 degrees Fahrenheit or about 100 degrees Celsius. So now the first thing you always want to do with your ribs is to remove the membrane and any excess fat on the underside of your racks. You can also have your butcher do this for you as well to save you time and the hassle, which I've already done already. Now let's create the rub. Now the first thing we want to do is we're going to grab a bowl. We're going to throw in a quarter cup of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. We're going to throw in 1 tablespoon of black pepper. We're then going to throw in 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of red pepper flakes, and 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme. We're going to mix that up real well. We're going to combine all those flavors together. Set that off to the side, and we'll grab a piece of tin foil. Grab a rack of ribs. We're going to use some of our rub on there. Flip it over. Some more of that rub on there. What we want to do is just wrap that up in our tin foil. Get it nice and tight. Place that back on our tray, and we'll do that again to our other rack. And we're going to place that in the oven for 2.5 to 3 hours. Barbecue sauce. I've mentioned in other episodes that I prepare the majority of my sauces, spreads, and dressings. So today I'm going to show you my barbecue sauce that I use pretty much on all my barbecue dishes. Alright, we'll start off by grabbing a deep pot. We're going to add in 4 cups of ketchup, 2/3 of a cup of honey, 1/2 cup of molasses, 1 1/3 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of pepper, 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Now we'll whisk that all up really well. Just combine all those ingredients together. And put it on the stove top on medium to low heat and let that simmer for an hour. Beautiful. We have our ribs in the oven. Our barbecue sauce is going on the stove. We're going to move straight on to dessert. Alright, peanut butter fudge with milk chocolate ganache. This is super easy to do, and the finished result is absolutely amazing. Let's get a big pot on a medium-high heat. We're going to start off by melting 1/2 cup of butter. And once that butter is fully melted, we're going to dump in 2.5 cups of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of milk. We're then going to let that come to a full boil and let that go for about 2 minutes. So as it's now coming to a boil and we've been stirring consistently, we want to just get that off the heat. And we're going to then stir in our vanilla and 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter.
wanna go, you're not gonna get wet tonight. If this shit get mad, man, not go fight. You don't feel with popcorn and Sprite. What can fly away like kite?
Okay, now in a separate bowl, you want to sieve through 1 3/4 cup of icing sugar. Just get that all fluffy like in there. And once that's through your sieve, we're then going to stir in our peanut butter mixture. As we've got our icing sugar and our peanut butter mixture mixed really well together, we're going to line a tray with some wax paper. And we're just going to dump that right in there. Spread that out evenly. And then cover this up with a piece of clear wrap. And pop that into our fridge for at least 2 hours. Alright, our fudge is in the fridge. We're going to whip up the ganache real quick. So what we want to do is get a small pot onto medium to medium-high heat. Pour in 1/2 cup of cream. Get that to a boil. Get 1/2 cup of chocolate into a bowl and so. And as you can see, the cream is boiling already. We want to just dump that slowly into our bowl of chocolate. And as that's heating up the chocolate, it's going to slowly start to melt. And what we want to do is just get that nice and smooth and creamy.
Wanna go, you're not gonna get wet tonight. If this shit get mad, man, not go fight. You don't feel with popcorn and Sprite. What can fly away like kite?
And as you can see, all the big chunks are gone. We're now fully melted. And it's nice and smooth and creamy. We want to set this off to the side until we need it for later. So our barbecue sauce has been on for an hour. And as you can see, all our ingredients are combined together and the sauce is thickened up really well. What we want to do now is just get that off the heat and just let that cool. And as that cools down, it'll thicken up even more, and we'll set that off to the side and use it later. Alright, the ribs have been in for 2 hours now, and this place is smelling beautiful. We're going to start the roasted chili and turmeric potatoes. So first, we're going to peel and quarter the potatoes. We'll place them into a pot of cold salted water, bring that up to a boil. Once it's boiling, we'll reduce the heat to half and let that simmer for about 8 minutes. Okay, it's been 8 minutes, so let's remove the potatoes from the heat. We're going to drain the water into a colander and let them steam for a few minutes. Okay, as the potatoes have steamed for a few minutes, we're going to grab a bowl. We're going to toss the potatoes right in there. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. We're going to add a nice little pinch of chili flakes, and a good pinch of salt, and a good pinch of pepper. Now we'll toss that all together real well. We'll now transfer the potatoes into a lightly greased baking sheet or a baking dish. Get them all nice and flat in there. And we'll just set these off to the side. Nice. It's been 2.5 hours. Let's get those ribs out of the oven, take them out of their foil pouches, get them resting on a cooling rack, and then we'll turn our oven up to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 200 degrees Celsius. And once that's up to temperature, we'll place those potatoes into the oven and bake them until crispy and golden brown. We want to turn them roughly every 10 minutes or so, just so they don't stick or burn to the bottom of the oven.
Wanna go, you not go get wet tonight. If this shit get mad, man, not go fight. You don't feel with popcorn and Sprite. What comes flat, we like kite.
Alright, our fudge has been in the fridge for about 2.5 hours. We're going to get that out. We're going to get it out of our tray. We're going to cut it, place it on a serving platter, and get our chocolate ganache all over top of that. When we got that finished, we'll pop it back in the fridge until we're ready for dessert. Okay, we're just about there. Our potatoes are a few minutes away from being done. So let's get our ribs back onto our sheet tray, and we're going to smother them on both sides with some of that barbecue sauce we made from earlier. Alright, now let's get those potatoes out of the oven and turn our oven on to the broil. And pop those ribs right in underneath the broiler. And as that's going, it's time for the garlic dill yellow beans. We'll get a skillet on medium to medium-high heat, and we're going to toss in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Coat that pan really well. And as that's heating up, we're going to chop up our dill, chop up a bit of our parsley. We're going to toss in our yellow beans. We're going to add in 4 cloves of garlic, good pinch of salt, good pinch of pepper. We'll throw our dill in there. Get our parsley in there as well. And we'll toss this around. We don't want to fry up our beans. We just want to get them hot and ready to serve. Now let's check on our ribs. Take those out. Give those a flip. And right back underneath the broiler for another few minutes. Alright, now that everything's ready, let's plate everything up. And there you have it. Sticky Carolina style ribs served with garlicky dill yellow beans and a roasted chili turmeric potato. And for dessert, a nutty peanut butter fudge smothered in our rich, delicate chocolate ganache and covered in a pecan topping. If you like what you've seen today, hit that subscribe button. Also, please hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if I could ever cook anything for you specifically. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to keep up to date with all the Infnit Gourmet cooking show. And until next time, keep on cooking.